Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Cocktails and Convos. My name is Chris, and my pronouns are he and him.
My name is Shane, and my pronouns are he or they.
All right, everyone, I hope you're ready for another exciting, wonderful episode today. I'm super hyped. I've been looking forward to this all goddamn week. Our drink of the day today is my version of an old fashioned. And just so everybody knows, make sure if you are enjoying the cocktail of the day with us today, make sure you are enjoying responsibly.
Definitely. We want you to be as safe as possible.
Yeah. We know our buddy Ted back there. Ted, are you drinking responsibly today?
No.
Ted.
Yes.
Ted.
No.
God.
Yes.
Ted.
Sorry.
Ted.
Ted.
I rehearsed. Sorry.
All right, everyone. Today, Shane, why don't you introduce our topic today?
Today, our topic is separating the art from the artist. Can we do it? And should we?
That is such... I can't believe we're tackling this. That is such an unbelievably deep topic, and there's so much that goes along with that, and especially today, there's so many people and so many things we can talk about, so this might be maybe a longer episode, we'll see.
Yeah.
But there's a lot to unpack here, and I'm really excited about this as someone who has worked in theater and has worked in YouTube and worked in things like that. This is something that I'm really passionate about, and I'm very excited to hear what you have to say, and I'm hear what you at home have to say about this as well. So let's kind of jump into it, right?
Yeah, definitely. Let's go. So basically, why we're bringing this up now is, I don't know if you've been following the news, there's the stuff that's been going on with Louis C.K. where, with his recent comedy sketches, he's had, the non-binary erasure and
some really problematic things in his comedy lately.
Yeah, definitely. There's also, like throwing it back to the issues with R. Kelly and
and even the documentary Surviving R. Kelly just came out, and a lot more things came to light that have caused people to be, saying, "Holy shit."
Yeah,
what's going on? We didn't know any of this.
Yeah, we're bringing it up again. We're digging that back up, and we're really bringing to light those issues. Not super recent, but still the issues with Kevin Spacey. Where we have that whole scandal with Drake. There's Jeffrey Tambor. There's
that one made me so sad.
Oh, I know.
Especially because his show was so good.
Transparent was so
important and so important.
It was so important
in so many ways.
But there's all of these people that are, can we separate these things that they've done from their art, and what should we do with their art? And
right, how do you consume? So I guess the borderline of the top,
their art.
Do you consume their art? And the bottom line for the topic for me is, are we able to, in good conscience and good, I guess, ethically and more for morality's sake, are we able to consume art despite what they did? And a big example for a lot of people is Bill Cosby too.
Yeah.
Huge example, because the Cosby Show was such an important piece of media for African Americans during its time.
Oh, definitely.
And even still today, the show is a incredible show. But then you now behind the wheel of it was somebody
who
wasn't necessarily the
not who we thought he
was. They took away his. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and a lot of these people are. I mean, not all of them, but a lot of them have these pieces of art or shows, music that did things that were
had good messages,
had good messages, or were at the very least enjoyable.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm not going to go out there and say that R. Kelly's songs were revolutionary or groundbreaking or did good for anyone other than they were bops, and we enjoyed them. Like
some good, what's it called? Like music,
I mean,
I don't know. It's not. Maybe we shouldn't say like based on him pissing on little girl. There's a whole thing there.
But we all have enjoyed listening to Ignition.
Oh yeah, that sounds bop
at one point or another. So anyways, moving on to the actual point of this episode, this conversation is how do we consume this art? Do we consume this?
Right. So we're saying, can you objectively consume the art without thinking of who created it and who's a part of it?
Okay, so I think what we should do is we should just break this down.
Okay, let's make a framework for it.
Tackle this bit by bit.
Yeah.
So, in your opinion, Chris,
Yeah.
can you or should you still consume this art?
So this is a thing that I've been thinking since we talked about, we obviously, guys, we plan what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
And we had about our first 5 topics picked about a week and a half ago, I guess 2 weeks from when this airs. And so I've been thinking a lot about this, and I've had a strong opinion on this for a while. And I understand we're going to get into some shit.
Yeah, I mean, we can definitely talk about more of the reasons why
shit like that. Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm going to get at is
afterwards, but
so you want yes or no?
I want your...
I would say yes.
Okay. So
I would say an artist talent is undeniable, but you cannot deny that people like Kevin Spacey, Jeffrey Tambor, Louis C.K., these people are undeniably talented. Objectively, they are talented. And so, yes, I would still consume The Cosby Show, for example.
Yes. So I would say not all of them.
Fair, yeah. It's a case-by-case basis.
It depends on, for me, the specific artist or the type of art.
So give me the same example. Would I consume R. Kelly? No. I'm out.
I will still listen to Ignition.
Ignition.
It's the one. I will not. I'm not going to.
Tell you what, we're going to put that song underneath some of this episode. Copyright claim.
All right. So now we're not
going to do that.
Our next point is moving on from that is in what way are you going to consume this art, or what are your restrictions around that? What are your boundaries on that?
It's so tough because it makes...
Why not?
Yeah,
or
for real.
Why would you? What are your reasons?
It makes me almost feel hypocritical to say case-by-case basis. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It makes me feel weird that maybe, again, I'm going to keep going back to Cosby because that's the example that I'm really the most sad about, because that show, again, was incredible and did, such good things. I would still watch The Cosby Show, and Again, going back to R. Kelly, I won't necessarily listen to R. Kelly. And Louis C.K. for me is a big one because I think the shit that he said was far, and it even sucks, is the shit that he said and what he did is objectively less bad than the things that Bill Cosby did to people.
Yeah.
And so it makes me crazy that I'm like, fuck Louis C.K., but I'll still watch The Cosby Show. It makes me feel weird. And the same with Kevin Spacey. I still want to... I've never seen... What was his show? The political show? House of Cards. Thank you, Ted. House of Cards.
Thank you, Ted.
I still want to watch House of Cards because it's supposed to be incredible. And what I was going to say about that is that he was already paid for that. Me watching House of Cards now, unless he's getting royalties, which I don't think I don't know how Netflix works, but I don't know, whatever. But from my understanding, he's been paid for that. So me consuming that art now, or Louis C.K.'s old things he's already been paid for, again, unless he's getting royalties, it's already been paid for, and he's already made the money off of it. He's already profited from it.
The only people you're hurting are the producers and the other people that are now only getting paid
when things are bought and whatever, downloaded, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And again, media is very complicated. Some people, for example, movies take checks for royalties only, and, it depends.
It depends.
So we really don't know who's getting paid from what time thing.
Which makes it all that much harder.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Media, we were talking about how, people getting paid for media.
Yes.
So moving on from that, so let's maybe talk about something that you brought up when we were doing research was, does the type of artist impact it? Do you want to move into that, or do you want to stick around a little more into...
Yeah, I definitely think that might be a good place to hit, which is, if you really look at it, we were talking about how it's kind of like dicey and hard to say, like, when it comes to actors, they might get paid for the movie beforehand, and so they're already getting paid no matter what. So when you don't consume that media, the only people it's hurting are possibly the other actors or the producers.
I so want to get into this because there's people, for example, let's go to Kevin Spacey for an example right now.
Oh.
I know, right? Some rough shit. You guys know what he did. If you want to know more, we'll talk about that with you. You can make a comment. Yeah. But for example, the movie Baby Driver from Edgar Wright is an unbelievable masterpiece of a goddamn movie.
But
and
everyone
not
was
watching
like,
that movie because of Kevin Spacey hurts every single artist
person.
in that, the makeup,
Yeah.
the costumers, it fucks
Everyone else.
And so,
Yeah.
and that's why when I say case by case basis, you have to really look at it. You know, Louis C.K. is easy because he doesn't necessarily, he had a show. I think that, I don't remember if they got rid of it or not, but he had a show. But him not listening to his comedy really only fucks him and maybe a few other people.
Yeah. It's very minimal.
Right.
And the other part that goes along with this, especially when you talk about someone like Louis C.K., who it's really only him, or someone like R. Kelly, where it's really only him.
It's a really interesting world, and I am glad that there is this accountability and visibility for people who have had people either prey on them or cause them harm, or emotionally or physically or psychologically.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that exists. And so when you look back in time, I would not be surprised if many people that we hold in high esteem did some up shit.
Oh, definitely.
That we don't even know.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I can't imagine the shit that Shakespeare did. I don't want to know.
If you read his plays, he's dirty as hell.
Yeah.
So, of course, Shakespeare...
he probably did some terrible things.
He probably was...
but more recently, look at Woody Allen.
Yeah.
We separated his career from his
survived.
personal life.
He had
and
a
we
pretty
were all
big
like,
scandal, and we just let it go.
Yeah, because back then we were like, well, it's separate. Let's separate the art from the artist. And now we're like, I don't know if we can do that.
Yeah,
and
it's
so
crazy.
The real question here is, should we? And
yeah,
I feel like
it's like as a culture, have we evolved to the point where now we're not, because of how our entire lives are shown on social media and our reputation swings on this pendulum of social media and visibility.
I think that it's great that we're starting to hold these people accountable.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
why should
I
we
agree.
be putting
I'm in
their money in their pockets and putting them up on this pedestal when
and
they're horrible?
Yeah,
I mean, like,
it comes to mind that they're examples for people. People look up to them, and that's why I think the Icarus fall of Bill Cosby, I keep going back, I know I do, but the Icarus fall of Bill Cosby is so impactful because he was everything to a group of people and created this safe, beautiful thing that, you know, in a time that was very tumultuous for race.
So we kind of got off topic from separate.
No, I think we're still hitting the mark here.
Just the type of art.
Yeah.
Impacted, which was like,
you know, we'll say we've got actors, musicians.
But like, what about like classical artists? What about like Andy Warhol?
Oh, yeah.
Like, what if we, like, because you consume that type of art differently.
Right.
Which is like, the media is really, really hard because there's so many different people backing it. But like, you go into painters, you go into writers, for the most part, it's just them.
Yeah.
I mean, with writers, there's their publishers, but they're still really close.
It's
for
a
the most
different
part,
ballgame.
It's a way different ballgame. And so if you don't buy like a writer's books, it's like 100% just hurting them. If you don't buy like a painter's paintings, it's only hurting them.
Right.
So you're going to stop consuming their art if you know they're a predator, right?
It's easier to affect them directly.
But at the same time, everyone still loves Andy Warhol.
Yeah, Andy Warhol was not a great dude.
But he was sexist and misogynistic.
So misogynistic.
That's why he's dead. I mean, like,
that's real. That's real.
Literally, he got murdered for that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. I think this is a pretty good, you know, we'll leave the question to you guys, right?
Yeah.
What do you think? Can you separate the art from the artist? I think we got into some really good things here. Let us know what you think about what we said. Like I said, we love feedback. We love all this stuff.
I mean, this is just how we feel. This is our opinions, and we're drunk, and we're just like.
I got a little more lit in this episode than I thought I was going to be.
Yeah.
Ted, how are you feeling, Ted? What are you drinking today, Ted?
Oh, that shit?
Why is it in the copper cup, Ted?
What do you?
This is my favorite cup.
Ted, why you?
That's
where'd
not
you get
the
that?
cup for that.
That's not the cup for that.
We didn't even pour it in that cup.
We didn't even make Ted a drink. I have no idea what Ted has.
All right, Ted.
Ted, thank you.
Thank you.
Ted.
Thanks for being here,
Everyone
Ted.
thank Ted. Yay, Ted.
Thanks, Ted.
Thanks.
We love you, Ted.
Love you.
Love you too, man.
All right. Well,
so we want you to be part of the conversation as always, you guys. I want to say thank you so much. Let us know what you think about separating the art from the artist. Cheers to you, my friends. Thank you so much.
Welcome to the conversation.
And that's a cut.
That got pretty intense.
It did.
We got passionate.
It did.
Feel good?
Yeah.
That was good, right? That felt good.
I don't hate it.